Climate change is one of the most pressing issues facing our planet today. It is a complex scientific issue with far-reaching consequences. However, the discourse surrounding climate change has become increasingly polarized, with alarmist rhetoric drowning out nuanced conversations. This essay will explore the rise of climate hyperbole, examining its impact on public perception and the search for effective solutions. The use of exaggerated claims and worst-case scenarios, often presented without proper context or scientific backing, has fueled a sense of fear and urgency. While it is crucial to acknowledge the seriousness of climate change, resorting to hyperbole can be counterproductive. It can alienate those who are not yet convinced, leading to skepticism and hindering meaningful action. The urgency of the climate crisis demands clear communication and evidence-based solutions. By distinguishing between fact and fiction, we can move beyond the rhetoric and engage in constructive dialogue. Only through reasoned discussion and a balanced understanding of the science can we effectively address the challenges posed by climate change. Dr. Judith Curry, a prominent climatologist and former professor at the Georgia Institute of Technology, has been a vocal critic of the alarmist rhetoric surrounding climate change. She argues that the politicization of climate science has led to an oversimplification of the issue and an over-reliance on worst-case scenarios.
The climate system is complex, and our understanding of it is incomplete. Uncertainties in climate models are often downplayed or ignored in policy discussions.
Dr. Curry emphasizes the importance of uncertainty in scientific research. Her perspective highlights the need for humility and transparency in climate science communication. Acknowledging the limitations of our current understanding and avoiding dogmatic assertions are essential for fostering trust with the public. Furthermore, recognizing the complexities of the climate system allows for a more balanced and informed discussion about the potential impacts of climate change and the most effective policy responses. One of the most concerning aspects of climate hyperbole is the proliferation of exaggerated claims made by public figures and the media. These claims often lack scientific rigor and can mislead the public about the true nature of the issue.
The world will end in 12 years if we don't address climate change.
For instance, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's assertion is demonstrably false and unnecessarily alarmist.
An inconvenient truth has raised awareness about climate change.
Similarly, Al Gore's documentary has been criticized for its use of emotionally charged imagery and exaggerated predictions. For example, the film's depiction of sea levels rising by 20 feet within the near future is not supported by mainstream scientific consensus. While it is important to communicate the urgency of climate change, resorting to such exaggerations can be counterproductive. When these claims prove to be unfounded, it can lead to skepticism and distrust of legitimate scientific findings. This underscores the importance of relying on accurate data and avoiding sensationalism when discussing climate change. While there is a broad scientific consensus on the reality of human-caused climate change, it is essential to acknowledge that there are dissenting voices within the scientific community. Scientists like Dr. John Christie, a climatologist at the University of Alabama in Huntsville, have raised concerns about the accuracy and reliability of climate models used to predict future warming trends. Dr. Christie, a pioneer in satellite temperature measurements, suggests that natural climate variability may play a more significant role than previously thought. Similarly, Dr. William Happer, a former director of energy research at the Department of Energy, contends that the Earth's climate system is less sensitive to increases in carbon dioxide than many climate models suggest. He argues that the positive effects of increased carbon dioxide, such as enhanced plant growth, may offset some of the negative impacts. It is crucial to approach these dissenting viewpoints with an open mind and to engage in respectful dialogue. While the scientific consensus remains strong, it is through the rigorous testing of hypotheses and the consideration of alternative explanations that science progresses. Climate models have consistently overestimated the rate of warming observed over the past few decades. Natural climate variability may play a more significant role than previously thought. The media plays a significant role in shaping public perception of climate change. Unfortunately, the pursuit of ratings and clicks often incentivizes sensationalism and fear-mongering, leading to a distorted view of the issue. Headlines screaming about impending climate doom and catastrophic weather events, often stripped of important context, have become commonplace. This constant barrage of negativity can lead to a sense of hopelessness and paralysis, particularly among younger generations who are constantly bombarded with images of a dying planet. The media's focus on extreme weather events, while important for raising awareness, can create the impression that such events are the norm rather than the exception. A more responsible approach to climate change reporting would involve providing balanced coverage that includes not only the risks but also potential solutions and stories of resilience. Highlighting the efforts of individuals, communities and businesses working to mitigate climate change can inspire hope and encourage action. The consequences of climate hyperbole are far-reaching and detrimental to constructive dialogue and effective policymaking. When individuals are constantly bombarded with alarmist messages, it can lead to a phenomenon known as climate fatigue or eco-anxiety. This can manifest as feelings of helplessness, numbness, and a reluctance to engage with the issue altogether. Furthermore, exaggerated claims can fuel skepticism and distrust of the scientific community. When predictions of imminent catastrophe fail to materialize, it provides ammunition to those who seek to deny the reality of climate change or downplay its severity. This skepticism can translate into political inaction, as policymakers may be hesitant to enact meaningful climate policies if they believe that the public is not convinced of the urgency of the issue. The result is a dangerous cycle of misinformation, distrust, and inaction that hinders our ability to address this pressing global challenge. Seeking balance. The importance of evidence-based discussions. To move forward effectively, it is crucial to foster a more balanced and evidence-based approach to climate change discussions. This involves shifting away from emotional appeals and alarmist rhetoric and focusing on the science, the data, and the potential solutions. It's important to acknowledge that while climate change is a serious issue with potentially severe consequences, it is not an insurmountable crisis. There is still time to mitigate the worst effects of climate change and to adapt to the changes that are already underway. A balanced approach would involve presenting the science of climate change accurately and objectively, acknowledging both the certainties and the uncertainties. It would also involve discussing a range of potential solutions, from technological innovations to policy changes to individual actions. A call for moderation. Bill Gates and the need for realistic goals. Bill Gates, a philanthropist and technologist who has dedicated significant resources to addressing climate change, advocates for a pragmatic and solutions-oriented approach.
He emphasizes the need for technological innovation, such as developing affordable clean energy sources and carbon capture technologies to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Gates cautions against focusing solely on reducing consumption and argues that a more effective approach involves investing in research and development to create cleaner and more efficient technologies that can meet the world's growing energy demands.
His perspective highlights the importance of setting realistic goals and embracing a diversity of approaches. While individual actions are important, addressing climate change effectively will require large-scale systemic changes driven by technological advancements and supportive policies. Towards a rational future, grounding climate action in facts and evidence. To move towards a future where we can effectively address climate change, it is essential to ground our actions in facts and evidence. This involves promoting scientific literacy, encouraging critical thinking, and fostering respectful dialogue. Educational institutions, media outlets, and policymakers all have a role to play in providing accurate information about climate change, its potential impacts, and the range of solutions available. Furthermore, it is crucial to engage with diverse perspectives and to avoid dismissing or silencing dissenting voices. Open and honest debate is essential for scientific progress and for developing effective policies. Conclusion: embracing nuance in the climate change conversation. The climate change conversation is not black and white. It is a complex issue with multifaceted causes and consequences. Embracing nuance means acknowledging the uncertainties inherent in scientific research, recognizing the limitations of climate models, and engaging with diverse perspectives. By moving beyond alarmist rhetoric and embracing a more balanced and evidence-based approach, we can foster constructive dialogue, build consensus, and work together to address this global challenge effectively. The future of our planet depends on our ability to engage in reasoned discussion, listen to one another, and work collaboratively to find solutions.